The Joe Rogan Experience.
No idea.
Yeah. I was talking to Neil deGrasse Tyson the other day, and he was trying to explain to me escape velocity. And he takes my shoe. He goes, "Let me see your shoe." And he takes my shoe, and he goes, "Now, if I throw this up in the air, it's going to come down. But if I throw it hard enough, it will escape the pull of the gravity of the Earth, and once it's free, it will go on forever."
Yeah.
He's sitting there going, "What?"
That's fucking cool.
What?
Yeah.
Like, you try to put that in your head. Like, wait a minute, what? It goes on forever.
Isn't that the problem? Now, Scott, this is great. Two just dummies talking.
Yeah.
Isn't this the problem with the moon? Is that not the problem with the moon, but if you jump on the moon, you can escape the escape. Like, it's easier to get out of the escape velocity of the moon.
No, it's 1/6 Earth's gravity.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I always thought on the moon you could like jump and you would fly into space.
No. You can theoretically you can jump higher, and if you believe in NASA, bro, there's some videos of guys jumping around on the moon.
Yeah.
The problem with the videos of people on the moon is that there are videos that look 100% fake. Where guys fall forward and it looks like they get yanked up by wires. There's a lot of video that looks fake as fuck. I don't know if it's fake. I don't know if it just looks fake because it's 1/6 the Earth's gravity, and we don't know what that really looks like until you see it play out. But there's some videos of guys falling down face first and getting yanked back up. It looks like they're yanked by cords.
Have you seen that picture, the thing that looks
What's up, Jamie?
After we talked about this last time, some people sent in videos of NFL players doing the exact same thing in the end zone.
Yeah, super athletes.
There's 3 or 4 guys doing it.
Throw their body, but they don't have a giant pack on their back. They're not wearing helmets.
They're wearing helmets.
That shit's light compared to what the astronauts are wearing, dude. The astronauts have they have a suit that keeps them.
But not if
1/6 Earth's gravity.
But if the concept is the suit, the concept is they're not even on the fucking moon, and then that suit could just be paper mache.
But some of the ones where they're pitched completely forward and they just go back.
That's literally what it is. I'm trying to find it right now.
Oh, yeah, come and see. I would love to see it. That's interesting.
So you're still wavering on whether we went to the moon?
I'm too dumb and uneducated to really know. Right. But I am wavering more on the possibility that some of the footage was faked.
Let me see this. Super quick. It's a 5-second video, so it's like no instant replay. But
boom. That is not the same thing, Jamie. I can do that.
It's super similar,
Dude,
though.
bullshit. I can do that. That guy goes to his... I'll do that right now.
I'll find another one.
The guy goes to his knees and then uses his momentum to pop up from his knees.
I've seen some that look pretty crazy, though, man.
Dude, that's ridiculous. The moon ones are way more preposterous.
I've seen better examples than that, though. There's some that
super athletes.
Yeah.
But what they're doing is springing up, and you can see the kinetic energy from their legs. It's forcing them up. They're super athletes.
Right.
They show off. Those guys do backflips and shit all the time. They are physically capable of doing things that a normal person can't do, but they're not physically capable of defying physics. What you're seeing in a lot of those moon videos looks like someone's defying physics. Like they pitch forward and they bounce back up. I think they shot a bunch of shit, and I think some of the video, if you're going into space and you're experiencing deep radiation, the Van Allen radiation belts and from the sun, dude, you can't even go through the fucking X-ray machine at the airport, the old X-ray machines with film. They wouldn't let you. Because if you went through with film, it would kill your fucking film. So how are they getting these perfect videos and photos and none of them are fucked up by radiation? It's entirely possible that they did go to the moon, but they faked a bunch of the film footage because they wanted to have something and they couldn't really bring anything back. It's entirely possible. There's faked footage from the Russians, 100%. There's a precedent. The footage of Yuri Gagarin when he's circling Earth for the first time, when he goes in a rocket and the first guy in space, it's fake as fuck, dude.
Really?
He's inside this tiny little compartment, and all of a sudden they got room in there for a camera? Get the fuck out of here, bitch. You see a light source this way and a light source that way. He's got dueling shadows behind him because they got lights set up in there because they're filming him inside this capsule. No, he shot up in the space. He really did do it, but they couldn't fit a goddamn camera in this tiny little capsule.
Right.
There's no room. So they just faked it after the fact.
Makes sense.
Of course it makes sense.
Saves a lot of money.
There was no internet back then. There was no VHS tapes back then.
Right.
They broadcast something on TV. As far as their eyes and their mind goes, that was the only time people are going to see it.
Right.
All they have to do is show it to you once. Pull it off. Nobody ever imagined you'd be able to pull it up on your phone, or two stoners like you and me would be watching on a podcast.
Right.
See if you can find the video of Yuri Gagarin from inside his, what would you call those things?
Pods?
Pods? What would you call it? Yuri Gagarin in space. You watch it, you go, get the fuck out of here. You watch it and you go, what? That is fake.
Right.
That is not him. Or it's not him in space, rather. So here it is. And blast off. Here he is. He's getting in the bus. He's heading to space. I can't believe it. Yuri, show me. Where are you?
Right.
See, he's in this thing. Look at that. Right there. Back it up. That was it. That's it. Watch this. Are we good? We're good. We're going to stop it. Here we go. And take off. Look at the lights. You see? Hold up. Back up. Back up. Back up. Stop. Pause it. Look at the shadows. Shadow to the left, shadow to the right. There's fucking lights in front of him. They have lights in there. He's in this tiny little pod. How's it lit up?
Is there no windows?
No!
Maybe they just have,
No! There's no windows.
Why couldn't they have lights in there, Joe?
Because they got no room.
It seems like there's enough room.
Panels don't have lights on.
They don't have lights back then.
Think about
this. They use candles.
Think
They had a campfire. There's a campfire in there.
I saw a few breakdowns of the moon landing too that said it would be way, way, way harder to fake it back then than it would have been to actually just do it.
I've heard that too. Yeah, I've heard that too. But I don't think we're talking about faking going to the moon. You're not understanding what I'm saying. We're talking about faking footage. We're not talking about faking going to the moon. Like, I think they probably did go to the moon. But I would imagine that at least some of the footage you're seeing is horseshit.
It was from what I wasn't obviously alive then. It was like a 140-minute live stream.
Right.
So
right.
That's hard to fake.
No, it's not. No, if you just have people in orbit, it wouldn't be hard to fake. Look, I think it'd be harder to go there than it would be to fake it. I think going there, if they did go to there, and I think they probably did, was an unbelievably difficult thing to do. But like faking that they were there, how hard would that be? Like after the fact, like filming footage, or filming footage of them in orbit.
Film is the part you can't. That would have been a mile of film.
Joe, it's really interesting to watch.
Reels that you don't.
Right? Do you know that all that shit's missing? You know all the original footage is missing?
That's the weirdest fucking thing to me, man.
Yeah, I mean, I know you do, and you're being skeptical guy.
I looked it up.
But look, it's missing.
Remember when that...
Not only that, you know what else is missing? The telemetry data. All the ones and zeros that show the location of the capsule, whatever the fuck it is on the way.
I thought, from what I read, they still have that data. They just, the original paper it was on, or the original magnetic tapes got reused because they needed to.
Okay, well, why would you say that unless you just want to just Google it and find out that's the case?
What I read. I read when last time you and Eddie were talking about it.
What did you read?
I read that the original tapes got written over because they needed the magnetic tape because there was a shortage at some point in time.
Right. So, but still.
But the data's still somewhere else.
There was a shortage.
Still, they recorded over the original tapes of the fucking moon landing. How much of a shortage of magnetic tape do you have where you're going to record over all of the video from the motherfucking moon landing? Hey, we got a presidential parade from '76. You want to keep that? Yeah, keep that. Keep that's a good one. It's like if you're going through like your family's VHS tapes, like, what do you want, Picnic from '82? Yeah, that was when Mikey threw up. Save it, save it. Like they're saving everything, but they record over the fucking moon landing
video. Yeah, who needs it? Let's just fucking record over the first time in human history.
Literally the craziest thing in human history to ever record over.
Right.
It is the dumbest thing in human. I'm not saying they didn't do it. They might have. The official story might be legit.
Casino.
But it might not be.
Where do you put your money on the moon landing? Because you know what I'm detecting, Joe? When we first got to be friends, as I recall, you didn't really believe in the moon landing.
I didn't believe in it at all.
And then you went through a phase because of the podcast and having a lot of conversations with different people, or something happened where you started shifting your ideas and thinking we did go to the moon.
No, I started shifting my ideas about everything. The moon landing is just an example. That's an extreme example of a position I took that I think represents. There is mystery to that story.
Yeah.
There's a lot of mystery to that story still to this day. There's a bunch of weird shit connected to the moon landing. A lot of it. So and people are like, no, there's not. Shut up.
Yeah.
No, there is. There is. There's a bunch of weird shit connected to it. How about the fact that they gave a fucking moon rock to, was it the Prime Minister of Holland, Neil Armstrong, and Buzz Aldrin and Michael Collins signed on this plaque, and they gave this moon rock to this guy in Holland, and it turned out to be petrified wood. It was fake. Like there's so much weird shit connected to the moon landing that it makes you go like, wow, like the creepy speeches that Neil Armstrong gave 25 years after the moon landing, talking about uncovering hidden truths, truth protective layers that are, great deeds that could be done to those who can remove one of truth protective layers. This is a speech that he gave. There's so much weird shit.
But some people say there's alien relics up there.
Those people are ridiculous. There's no evidence of that, but there is evidence that these people are talking really weird about the moon landing.
Jamie, can you pull
Do you know
up
what Clinton said?
What?
Do you know what Clinton said in his book? He wrote a book called My Life. And in one of the chapters in My Life, he talks about a conversation that he had with a carpenter when people landed on the moon. He was working in a construction site.
Yeah.
And the guy said, I don't believe it for a second. Those television fellers, they could fake anything. And he says, back then, I thought the guy was a crank. But after 8 years in the White House, I was starting to think that maybe he was ahead of his time.
No shit.
This is what Bill fucking Clinton wrote in his book, My Life.
Wow.
Why would the fuck would you ever write that if you were the goddamn president of the United States for 8 years and you're saying, hey, maybe the guy who thought we didn't go to the moon was right?
Right.
Might not be right. It might be that they faked some footage. They did fake some photos. There's a photo of Michael Collins who's on a moonwalk from like Gemini 15. And it's not a real photo. It's a photo of him from the test runs that they did that's in a warehouse, and they blacked out all the background. It's been proven. They reversed the image and blacked out the background. You could see the two of them. If you overlay them, they line up perfectly. It's the exact same image.
Right.
So someone, whether it is an overzealous PR agent for NASA or a journalist at the time, who knows who actually made that photograph, but somebody did and tried to pass that photo off as space. So there's some deception. We know that one is 100%.
Sure.
So then you look at the other ones. You look at the videos of guys falling down, getting yanked back up, and bouncing around like they're on trampolines, and some videos where they're hiding behind the lunar rover. Like, what the fuck are you doing? If you guys tear your suits, you're dead.
Sure.
You guys are jumping around on the moon like you're having a party up there?
Right.
Is that real?
Right.
How come I can't get a fucking regular camera through the radar machine, the x-ray machine at the airport, but you guys can fly through the radiation of space, and that shit comes out, but, well, those cameras were insulated. They were a different kind of camera. The camera was... Not true. Hasselblad said it. They were the same goddamn cameras.
Right.
It's a regular camera. There was no specific protection. There was nothing unusual about the protection that those cameras had.
It's interesting, man. You've, like, gone back.
No, I haven't. I think... this is the thing, man. I'm not taking any position.
You're agnostic.
100%, because I don't know anything about space.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about the physics of space travel. I don't know anything about the requirements, the technological requirements, but I do know it's one of the only things that happened between 1969 and 1972, and it's not cheaper, easier, and faster to reproduce today. It's weird. It's a weird thing.
Weird
it's a weird thing. This is the only time in history people have been more than 400 miles from the Earth's surface, was those moon missions. All the Apollo missions, man. Everything since then, all the space shuttle stuff, inside 400 miles. Satellites, or
That's
a
always
space
been
station,
a weird
rather.
thing. You talk to people about that part, and they'll say, like, we just don't need to go there anymore.
Maybe we don't. Maybe they're right. Maybe they're right. They might be right. We don't know, but it's juicy to think they're not right. But it's interesting how rabidly people fight off the notion. Here's the other weird shit about it. The Nazis were running our space program. That's a fact. Operation Paperclip. Werner von Braun was a fucking Nazi.
Right.
They brought all the scientists over, like legit Nazis who would hang Jews in front of their fucking rocket factories in Berlin.
Fuck.
Legit. Guys who wear tattoos from the Holocaust identified Werner von Braun, talked about him being in there. That was the head of NASA. That was the guy who was trying to get us to the moon.
Yeah.
Dude, there's a lot of weird shit. And people...
See, now you're getting deep into it. It's the Nazis doing some kind of thing where they're, like, trying to fake the moon landing. Like, it's somehow attached to the Nazis.
I think the Nazis were the best rocket scientists available, right? Or one of them, other than the ones that we had here and then the ones the Russians had. There was a lot of competition to get the best rocket scientists. But some of the best rocket scientists were in Nazi Germany.
Sure.
So when Nazi Germany fell... Operation Paperclip took place. And in Operation Paperclip, they brought a number of Nazi scientists from Germany secretly to America. And one of them they put as the head of fucking NASA.
Yeah, this is where it gets really cool. Someone was explaining all this to me about how basically it's the thing is like, okay, you think in World War II that we just rounded up all the Nazis and they just disappeared. And it's like, where do you think all the Nazis went? And they're
what about the ones who are really good at making cool shit?
yeah, well, Bear aspirin. You know, like the idea is that the
Bear aspirin?
Yeah, well, look up. I'm so sorry to ask Jamie, but do you mind looking up Bear aspirin and Zyklon B, like, and the Jewish slaves? I think working for Bear aspirin. But when you look at like a lot of the idea is that the Nazis didn't really go anywhere. They just started corporations, and some of the biggest corporations we have right now are.
Do you know why Zyklon B is Zyklon B? Because Zyklon B took the smell out of it. Zyklon A was the stuff that had an agent in it that made it smell terrible, so you could smell it.
Wow.
So when they used it to gas the people in the concentration camps, they changed it so that it was undetectable.
Yeah, did you...
So what did it say? What does it say? Jamie's quick with the trigger here today. Getting frustrated with us.
Changes the camera, so if you guys aren't looking.
Oh, sorry. The Bayer Aspirin Company has finally apologized for the inhumane acts of its parent firm, including using Jewish slave laborers during the Holocaust. Holy shit.